Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Box Gaming coverage of the Apex Online Racing League Season 7 for PC Split 1. I am still Justin.
And I'm Mikko.
And today we'll be at the Buddh International Circuit in India. It is round 12 of this season, and there's only 3 more to go after this one. We have Abu Dhabi, America, and Brazil coming up after this race in India here. And I did quite well here last season, Season 6, driving for in Split 2. I did a lot more practice that season, though, than I did for this year's game. But still, it's a track I quite like, actually. It's got some pretty intense curbing and stuff like that, which allows for a lot of extending and stuff like that, which of course we see in the real F1 even. How are you feeling about going into this race?
Well, not super confident, but a bit of a nostalgic moment for us, I think. It's the first video we ever made on this channel.
That's right.
India race, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we did miss some races. As many of you will know, we missed some races at the beginning of Season 7. But yeah, India was the first video that we did for the channel.
Go check it out if you haven't seen it.
It's
we
probably going to be
pretty green.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a lot different versus this video. Certainly no side-by-side quality comparison, I don't think. Right? That's something that we started later on in the series,
yeah,
right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would know as you are the one that does does all of that work.
Honestly, I can't remember when we started doing that.
I want to say it was at least sometime early in Season 7, but
Yeah.
so here we are on the outlap. I think you were running 2-1 wings as well. I think I was running 2-1 wings. I also believe that this is a 51-49 high large track, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Going through that very strange turn 4. It's extremely wide. There's just so many different ways you can take turn 4. There's so many different lines you can use, and it's a weird one. This double left apex, that's a strange sequence of corners as well, with that kind of chicane. Another kind of quick chicken right there. And then we got the
Alonso fans.
and then we got the parabolica here, as it's called, which I guess we were talking about that actually in TeamSpeak after the race. The parabolica, I guess, just means big corner.
I think in Monza there's the corner called Curva Grande, which means big curve. But I think parabolica just means a parabol, which means like an arc.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like a half circle, like a semicircle or something like that. So here we are starting the lap. You'll notice actually I moved very far to the left before crossing the line. That's in an effort to try and shorten the run down to turn 1. You want to brake before the 100-meter board for that turn 1, which is really strange. Both of us actually going through almost dead even through the first couple of corners here as we go through the awkward turn 3 hairpin onto the DRS straight. And you definitely managed to carry a little bit more speed through there, so you have a little bit of an advantage at the moment. And I've actually even used more curves than you have at this point, so already it's looking like, oh, actually not too far off. It looks like in the straight line. I'm wondering if that's gearing related. I don't think I was quite running full gears where you were running full gears. So I'm not sure if that played a part in there, but there's a definite difference now as we get into this Sector 2, this very tight and twisty section, and you've pulled out quite a gap now. The gap's probably 3-4 tenths, something like that, maybe even a little bit higher than that. As we go through that double apex parabolica, very high speed, 5th gear corner. I love that corner. Very flowing type of corner. I like this Sector 3 as well, these corners. Very flowing. This one as well kind of reminds me of Silverstone almost, like a slower version of the turn after hanger straight. The right-hand corner kind of reminds me of that. Coming down to finish the lap around the final hairpin and cross the finish. And it's a 124.2 from Mikko and a 124.5 from myself. And I don't know about you, but that was actually my PB. That was the fastest I had gone around the track in this game. So I was pretty happy with that, especially considering my I didn't practice all that much, but I was just happy to beat my PB. It's rare, extremely rare for me to get a PB in qualifying. What was your PB like going into this?
Around that time that I did, but I felt I did very little practice for this race, so I felt like I had potential to go under 1 minute 24, but wasn't the perfect lap.
Speaking for myself, it's definitely I've been a little bit busier recently, so it's been tough finding practice. I think you've been a little bit busier the past few weeks as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why this video is actually coming out a little late as well. I do apologize for you guys. The Abu Dhabi video will be coming out very shortly, which I missed, but I'll get into all that stuff later. As we're gonna start this race, it is a 3-stop race, and you got the medium and soft compound tires. Most people going to be starting on the soft compound tires. Everyone who started in the top 10, I imagine. I think there actually may have been someone, though. I want to say Raiden managed to qualify in the top 10 on primes.
Yeah, might be, yeah.
I don't 100%. Nope, that's someone behind me. Yeah, are we on board with you here? We are. Okay. Yeah, Raiden's up there. No, it looks like he's on the options, from what I can tell. Those look yellow to me.
Yeah.
So we're on the grid starting from 11th and 13th. You're just in front of me, so I'm going to be extra cautious as we go into turn 1. And the lights are out, and we are away. And not using any curves, saving curves. And I know somebody, looks like Tremium's going to be going up my inside here. But we'll probably stay side by side. And actually, no, he manages to pull ahead. There's a little bit of wobbling going on from chicane there. And actually, everybody has managed to get by me. And I've dropped down to 16th, and it's looking very busy at the hairpin there. And I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of places, including one off of you. And I'm going to be going side by side with Zephyr here down the straight, using all of my curves and Rich Mix as well. And switching back on board with you, and you're going to go side by side with Furkan Ajjan. And oh, a little bit of a lockup that's pushed too wide, but no contact with anybody. All's safe. It looked like there was a Caterham back there that was getting a little bent out of shape, but no major incidents. It does look like one car has kind of fallen behind. I'm not sure if there was any sort of damage or loss of end plate or anything like that, but they seem to be keeping up pretty well now after losing just a little bit of gap there. We'll maybe find out who that was. As we're going through the very high-speed corner now, and we got Ryan L83 just behind. A lot of you guys might know him from the Xbox side of AOR. Very common gamepad user on that platform. But here on the PC, he is using a wheel. He's a big iRacer as well. I look forward to doing some iRacing with him in the future. Unfortunately, we haven't had the opportunity just yet, but looking forward to doing that. And you're in 10th at the moment behind Raiden, and you had a little squirt of curves that you used as you came out of the final corner. But it looks like he's got the pace on you going down the straight. Ooh, closing in very close after turn 1. And no DRS just yet, though, so I don't imagine that this will be an easy pass if you're going to pass at all.
Yeah, looks like Fat First is on primes ahead of Raiden, so there's a little switch of strategy. He usually does that. Yeah.
Good spot, good spot. Yeah, and at a track like this with a 3-stop, that could mean everything, especially with how well he's keeping up with everybody. I mean, he is right there behind the McLaren of Granu, I believe that is.
Yep.
And it looks like he's even going to go side by side. Granu's got the inside line, and you're going to go to the outside of Raiden as well. This is not a passing location at all, and that's pretty much what I expected to happen, as Raiden has a little bit of an off track as well. Getting very exciting. Oh, and I had a little bit of contact with Tremium there, and it kind of looks like he's letting me by even. I'm not sure if he's having a problem of some kind, but it looks like he's the one that... actually, maybe I was the one that dropped back at the beginning of all that. Oh, yes, it was. I'm remembering now. Yeah, turn 4, lap 1. There was some contact between myself and Ryan L83, and I was letting him by, and I lost all the other positions on the track. That knocked me down to 16th, and that was me nabbing 15th off of Tremium. So, got all to do in this race. You are staying with Raiden very well here. This is Raiden's not home track. I believe he lives in the UK, but he is Indian, so certainly he is looking for a good performance here. And there's a little bit of a group. There's a kind of a gap forming in front of Granu, and honestly, it's looking like Fat First is possibly going to be getting by Granu. I don't think Granu got DRS on this straight.
No. I do have a Raiden, and he has DRS as well. We'll have to see about straight line speed. I'm going the inside.
Ooh.
Just to slow it down.
That is nail-biting stuff. Fantastic move. Pretty straightforward. I think he maybe was trying a switchback on you there, but you actually managed to hug the apex really well there as Granu goes a little wide. And Fat First takes that 7th place position off of him on those prime tires. I gotta imagine, even on lap 3 here, Jack First, or was that Fat First? I'm sorry, that was Fat First, wasn't it?
Fat First, yeah.
Fat First, it probably already has the pace advantage over the option tire starters. We're not seeing...
it's matched, yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly getting closer and closer, or now it might start getting farther and farther, but yeah, these option tires really don't last long on the heavy fuel, especially after qualifying on them. I imagine we'll be seeing people, as we see a car already diving into the pits, actually. It looks like that was Gaston Rivero. Yep, yeah. Gaston is going to go in for an early pit. I imagine that means all 3 of his stops are going to be for the prime tires, I got to imagine, if he's pitting this early.
Wide.
Granu goes right off the track at turn 1. It looks like he might be really struggling with the tires. And Fat First has no problem going through that hairpin. It looks like Ryden might be having a look at Granu pretty soon here. I think he might be seeing...
It looks like he's passed already.
Oh yeah, he sure is. Wow, that didn't take long at all. And so now I am up to P12 at the start of lap 4 here, going down the DRS straight. Didn't get DRS on anybody. Using some lean mix for 7th gear, and then I imagine going right back into rich mix. And it looks like Ryden has gone off the track actually, and he has lost that position to Granu and Ryan L83, but then he takes the position right back from Ryan, so not sure what's going on there.
Looks like... Yeah,
possibly some
like
contact
Ryan...
and giving it back?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what it looked like, as Ryden is going very wide through that corner, and Ryan L83 as well going very wide, and I am on the prime tires. I don't think we mentioned that yet. That I decided to go for an alternate strategy. That way you and I weren't pitting on the same laps, and you had told me that... Or did you start in the top 10? No, you were 11th. You told me though that you were going to start on the options, and so I decided to go the alternate route and start on the prime tires. And I do believe I'm doing 3 prime stints. Oh, everybody's diving into the pits now. Granu, Ryden, and Ryan L83 all diving into the pits, and I've managed to sneak a little bit of DRS actually before they dived into the pits there. So we start lap 5, and I am just behind you actually. Few seconds down the road, maybe 3-4 seconds away.
Yeah, something like that. And Zephyr behind you, he's, I believe, on the pad as well.
Yep, and also I believe he is on the prime tires. He started just behind me as we're seeing a little bit of ghosting going on, but I don't think he's close enough. Yep, I'm even able to go into lean at the end of the straight here. Oh, as I've gone a little wide like though, and
wide,
that's probably going to give him a little bit of an opportunity on me.
It looks like he's passed you actually. Yep,
he sure has. He's gotten past me after that mistake. And oh, it looks like there's a car very wide off the track there. It looks like a Force India maybe? Yeah, yep, that is Dark Lord in the Force India. As Fat First has managed to get by him. And he's probably on the options, and again Fat First is on the prime tires, so right now he is going to be faster than the option tire runner, certainly here on lap 5. Absolutely the primes of the faster tire at this point in the race as far as what people started on. And it looks like the leader is pitting.
Wow.
And Dark Lord
just cutting the pit entry
Dark Lord has a little bit different pit, racing line for the pit entry there. As we start lap 6 now, and currently in third, nope, I'm sorry, second, and the only person in front of you is Fat First, who of course also has not pit. And I am just behind Zephyr now, who, yep, he is in fact on the primes.
Look at he had a big lockup into turn 3, so...
Yep, little moment of weakness, and I'm actually already getting by him without the DRS. And now that the DRS is open, that's pretty much job done. No side-by-side action here, just do it on the straight. And braking very cautiously now. Even these prime tires are going to be struggling for grip this far into the race, even though they were fresh at the beginning. As I'm actually 7/10 up on my last lap, but the tires are already, even the primes, gonna be starting to struggle here. You can see my planned pit stop is on lap 8, so these tires are about 75% through their life currently.
Yeah, and there's 6 laps on these. I think these are fresh options. Yeah, they are.
Yep.
So that's pretty much the maximum, as you can see. A big moment there. The left front is
critical.
Yeah,
absolutely critical.
That's the worst of them all.
And that's the Parabolica, almost certainly, that's doing that.
Yeah, and there's plenty of right-hand corners? Yeah, right-hand corners.
Sector 3 is a lot of right-hand corners,
yeah.
high-speed right-hand corners. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 apexes that are right-hand high-speed. Well, I guess the penultimate corner is not that high-speed, but still pretty high-speed. As you come out of the pits just behind chicane on a fresh set of primes. Are you running option prime for this race?
Yeah, I would believe so, because I used 3 sets of options in qualifying. Yeah.
Yep, and then a fresh set at the start of the race. So yeah, that wouldn't leave. You don't want to be putting on a scrub set of tires for India. And the pace difference really isn't too bad. As Fat First, as you get a little wiggle to warm up the tires, Fat First proved in the opening stages of this race just how competitive the prime tire can be. You know, it's definitely more up to the driver than the tire itself in this race. So the prime tire is not too bad, and it's a little bit more stable. You're not going to get that peak performance that drops off after just a few laps. You're going to get a little bit more consistent laps. So in 12th at the moment, some people still have yet to pit, I believe, and I am indeed one of those people. So we're coming to the end of lap 7 here. Fat First is the only car ahead of me, and I've got a long train of very competitive cars behind me, and and they're probably all on either fresh options or primes. I don't think any of them are on scrub tires. It's going very wide through the final corner, and I'm trying to maintain this position as best I can without losing time. Is basically the goal here. I don't want to just give the position up because then you lose time, but I don't want to fight too bad because then you lose time. So I'm trying to push as fast as I can, but I'm aware that Kifla getting by me here, for example, is inevitable. There is nothing to stop this guy from getting past me.
And here he goes, pretty much. Yeah.
I'm even in lean trying to help him out. I went into lean pretty early on the straight there, trying to just give him a hand, and then he goes a little wide there. Now I'm forced to go side by side with him. I can tell you at this point, I really didn't want to take the position back. I was hoping he would just continue on, but now I've been forced to continue on, and this is my last lap. This is the 8th lap on these tires, so I got to be really holding him up, which I'm sure is to the delight of Onage and Alex and Gaston and all the other highly competitive, the 2 first guys. Well, not Fat First, he's up ahead, but this is to everybody else's benefit that I'm holding Kifla up here, because everything behind me is for position pretty much. So, and we are coming to the end of lap, and I'm in lean. Really no benefit in being rich when your tires are this destroyed. And taking the correct line for the pit entrance, going a little off the track there. But that wasn't really intentional. And going to be throwing on a set of the primes, I do believe. Yeah, I saved the final stint for the options, is where I'm looking to make my moves and see if I can make up some positions. So I'm going to be a little slow in the early stages of this race. In fact, for the first 75% of this race, I'm going to be on the slower side compared to other people, but that is okay with me. And we're coming through the hairpin onto the DRS straight, just behind chicane. Almost certainly got DRS, and I don't believe he's gotten DRS on the car ahead, and we'll see. No, he has not. And he's going to stay to the outside. You're going to move to the inside. And that's job done. That was pretty easy.
Yeah, not giving me too much trouble there.
And it looks like Dark Lord and Jack First going side by side for a moment there. Dark Lord comes out ahead.
Yeah, it's the way I usually pass people on the DRS straights is kind of parking my car on the racing line. Yeah. Not going wide and avoiding the switchback.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the same time, so that's kind of my style now.
Yeah, no, that's the best thing to do, because otherwise you're right. They'll just, they'll undercut you or whatever, switch back. They'll do whatever they need to do in order to just take that position right back. And it is a pretty decent run down to turn 5. So especially if they've saved up some curves, it's always possible that they can take that position back. So coming to the end of lap 9 now, getting DRS off of Jack First, and currently in 8th position. And I'm wondering if Fat First has pit at this point.
At this point, he must have, yeah.
He must have. Certainly at the end of lap 9. I mean,
yeah, he was clearly ahead of you and Kifla at the last lap or lap at the end of lap 8. So I think he must have pit this lap or the lap before. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Gotcha. So got DRS on Jack First here, but Jack First got DRS on Darkler. Oh no! And Mr. Breaking Point is what that looked like.
Yeah, that's a pretty underestimate.
Gonna have to do a U-turn in the gravel, no less. Somehow you managed to find the one gravel trap in India. I don't know how you did it. I didn't know there was gravel at this track. I thought it was all just concrete runoffs and grass here. But yeah, unfortunately that has dropped you down to 14th, and not that far ahead of 15th. So that is a huge mistake. Unfortunately, that's really. I mean, how much time do you think you lost because of that? 10, 15 seconds?
Yeah, I think 13 seconds was
13 seconds?
Estimate at the time, yeah.
Okay.
So completely my mistake.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you braked really late.
Else. Yeah.
Really late braking, and there's that dip right there, which you know, under normal braking point is not really an issue because of how slow you're going by the time you hit that dip. But it locked. I think it locked all 4 of your wheels. Your engineer came on and said something about rear locking after your incident. So I think he locked all 4 tires. It just went right off the track. But thankfully, no damage. Didn't lose any end plates or anything. Just got a little bit of gravel on the tires and lost 13 seconds. So it was certainly hurtful, but there's nothing saying that you can't fight back. Certainly.
Well, by the time I've crossed the 150 meter board, which is about the breaking point here.
Yeah, primes, heavy fuel, dirty air.
Yeah, once I passed that, then I realized that okay, I'm going way too fast, and there's no way I'm gonna make that corner. So I just moved to the right, and the thing I was just trying to do is avoid Jack First and Dark
yeah,
Lord.
I could see that. Yeah, you clearly just didn't want to cause an incident, which was really good of you. Yeah, I noticed that you turned the wheel to the right before slamming on the brekes, which is definitely the intelligent way of handling that situation. For those that might remember, Gutierrez kind of did it the wrong way in China last year when he hit the back of Sutil. He slammed on the brakes before turning one way or the other, and then just couldn't get out of the way. As I'm having a look at Ryan L83 here, going down the start-finish straight, not a typical passing location, but it looks like he might possibly be struggling. He's got the inside line for turn 1. But it looks like I was able to carry enough speed to pretty much grab that position. He is going to have DRS. Yeah, maybe he let me by, actually, very strategically, and with the intention of getting DRS on me for this much longer straight here. But I'm going to use all of my curves in defense and some rich mix. And he is very close behind me, and I'm kind of in the middle of the track, forcing him to pick a side. He decides to go to the inside, and I do the switch back, and that's going to be job done.
Yeah, just what we talked about.
Exactly, which is why when you have that inside line, you really want to try and hug that corner. I think I believe he started on the options, so I do believe he is on 7-lap old primes or thereabouts at this moment. So,
yeah.
Whereas my tires are only 3 laps old at this moment, as I pit at the end of lap 8. So, looking pretty good, and we've skip ahead, and some cars have pit, so I am currently in 2nd place now as I come out just ahead of Alex Gillen, who is coming out of the pits at the moment. That is his 2nd pit stop. I've still only stopped once so far, as Onage does a 126.561. Pretty fantastic lap from him, and it's currently Fat first in the lead, but again, he would have only pit 1 time at this point in the race, so him and myself are 1 pit stop behind the rest of this top group of cars, as Onage does a pretty standard move and does exactly that. He hugs the inside line, doesn't run wide, and takes that position from me. As I go to lean again, hoping, and he kind of went wide there. Oh no! I got some. That was a dirty air effect, and I moved to the inside, and I let Keith by. Because that was a corner cut, and I don't want to be getting in any trouble with the corner cuts. As Alex is going to try around the outside of the Parabolica, And you can tell I'm just lifting. I'm in 4th gear this whole time. He runs off the track and takes that position. That is definitely not a normal passing location at all. And
that was the worst place you could let someone by. You should just went for the corner and then
that's the thing.
let him pass,
I was
like,
not
here.
letting him by. Because I gave Kifla a little bit of a hard time. I gave Onage a little bit of a hard time. So I got to give Alex a little bit of a hard time. I got to make it even at least. So I decided to just make it a little challenging on him. But again, I did that in 4th gear. I stayed to the inside very definitively. He was very easily able to carry more speed through the corner and take that position. So I wasn't going to make it too easy on him, but that was all in good fun. And I think Alex had a good time doing that too. So you come out for your second pit stop, and you're currently in 15th, but the people who have started on the primes are yet to make their second pit stop. So possibly you'll be looking at gaining some positions when people like myself and Zephyr and the other prime starters are making their second pit stop. And we're going to fast forward now to lap 16, and this is me taking my second pit stop. Yep, Gaston Rivero got by me earlier in the race, and actually I stuck with him fairly well. I was pretty surprised by that. I'm not sure how much practice he got, but he did seem a little bit off of the pace versus the past couple of races where he was so competitive. It might just be a track that he doesn't get along with very well, though. I know lots of people do not like this track. So he might be one of those people that just didn't like it, didn't want to drive it, didn't want to practice it. And it looks like my second pit stop is going to put me right next to you, as we were talking about.
Here I come.
Yep, you are going to be, and yeah, my tires are very cold right now, so I had a very hard time putting the power down out of turn 1. And it looks like you might even get DRS, because I had to brake again very early with the cold tires, because this is my 3rd prime stint. I'm on the primes. And so I think you may have gotten DRS on me. You can tell I'm using lots of curves and DRS, or rich mix, in an effort to try and defend from you. And actually, you've saved some curves and closed that gap right down. And you're going to move to the inside, but yeah, couldn't quite get alongside, so I pretty much took the normal racing line there. Carried a little bit more speed through, and going to hang on to that position in the meantime. Very difficult to follow in this area, as you guys saw me go right off the track at this corner here when I was following behind Onage. Very difficult to follow in this section. Just the dirty air effect is massive as you're going 100, 150 miles an hour through a lot of these corners, creating lots of downforce and lots of turbulent air for the car behind. But you're on these brand spanking new tires. And keeping up pretty well. It says 2 seconds, but it's definitely less than that. I would say it's under 1 second, almost definitely now as we go through the penultimate corner.
Definitely got DRS, and this is a bit of an odd situation because we usually aren't on the same pace of tarmac on these races.
Yeah, season 7, it's tended to be one of us does better than the other one. Typically Miko being the one that is farther up the road, but not all the races, but typically. So yeah, this is kind of the first race where we've actually had the opportunity to kind of race each other wheel to wheel. At this stage in the race, you definitely have the advantage, but at this point, I can tell you what I'm thinking is you've already burned your options. I still have my options to go. So if you get in front of me, or even if you get 3 or 4 seconds up the road from me, I still have a chance in my final stint to try and catch that back up. Because when I'm putting on the fresh options, you'll be actually on worn primes. So I'm thinking about the long run at the moment, and we're not too far behind Ryan L83, who seems to be dropping back from whoever is in 11th currently. So there's a bit of a gap to the points. We're pretty far behind. It's not looking good for points at this stage.
Yeah, so we might just have some fun while we're at it.
Exactly. Yeah, I could also tell you that I was thinking if the opportunity presents itself, I will totally go wheel to wheel with you.
Yeah.
But also because we have raced wheel to wheel before. For those of you who may have been subscribed to me, and there's not many of you, I think I had like 60 subscribers at my peak as a solo channel. Or if you guys were subscribed to Miko even, we both did videos for our Austin race in Season 6, which was just before Box was created. And actually Ryan L83 has gone off of turn 1, and that's given me 12th given Miko 12th place position and gotten me right up behind, and I'm gonna have DRS on him, but I believe he got DRS off of you. Yep, I'm betting he did. I can't see the wing, but based on how he's keeping up with me, and I don't have max gears, so actually he starts pulling away a little bit, and we both brake very conservatively. Lots of respect given there, and I managed to grab that position. But as I was saying, the Circuit of the Americas in Season 6, we had a lot of wheel-to-wheel racing. In fact, we crossed the line 2/10 apart from each other. So, if any of you guys know the links to my channel or Miko's channel, those are really good videos. You can see some actual battling there. No strategy involved that season.
Yeah, don't we have like on this channel? Because we started on India, so I don't know if we have a leg race of that.
Oh, do we?
We might have.
Oh yeah, we must. I mean, we have to, right? We've got to. We've got to. So yeah, go look at it on this channel. Forget trying to find our solo channels. Yeah, just go look for it on the. It's got to be on there. But yeah, that was a really good race as far as inter-team battles goes. I think that was probably the best one we had. That was also the race where we both passed SHX like in rapid succession. That was really good.
Yeah, SHX racing in Split 2 at the moment, but you've got DRS on me, so
yep,
looking like a relatively easy pass.
Yep, in standard, down to lean, got the inside, oh, a little bit of a lockup, but controlled it actually, and ran a little wide, but nothing too major, and you're actually going to try around the outside here.
Yeah,
I can tell you,
this did not work earlier.
This made me really nervous, like really, really nervous. I was like, no, don't go to the outside. Oh man, yeah, I was really concerned when that was happening.
Yeah, well, plenty of room given,
yes,
no contact.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I mean, there was probably 2 or 3 meters between our cars there. So, but the inside line is definitely the one you want for that corner, yeah. Because it's a double apex. It just makes it twice as hard to try and hang it around the outside in that sequence of corners. And the fact that it's a quick chicane after that means you can't fit 2 cars through the chicane. So. Pretty much whoever's got the inside line is going to take that unless there's a big difference between the tires. And you're going to be making, this is your final pit stop, so you're actually going to be doing 10 laps on your final stint with the primes.
Yeah, looks like I've held up ownage. Or, no, that was chicane.
Chicane, yep, that was chicane.
Yep. So yeah, what happened there was I locked up and I decided, well, I don't want to rejoin the track anymore. I actually did only 5 laps on those primes.
Oh really?
The primes should last about 10 laps, so
I mean,
it's possible to do 10 laps. So
I did 8 as the first stint with the green track and heavy fuel. So yeah, I think 10 laps is certainly possible. Lap 30 might be a little on the tricky side, but other than that, and here we are, we're going to skip to the end, pretty close to the end here. End of lap 27, only 3 laps left, and I am closing in on Chicane, who is on very worn primes. And this is exactly what I expected from my strategy. I'm even in lean right now, just because I want to get DRS on him for at the apex of turn 3 here, but I almost can't avoid passing him because my tires are just that much healthier and faster. A little bit of a lockup from him there. I think sometimes those are lag related. I'm not sure if he actually locked up, but I got a much better exit out of that hairpin with the fresher option tires, and I'm able to take that position even before the DRS activation. And pulling out a pretty good gap on him now too already. Big gap up ahead to Ryden though, and I'm not sure what kind of tires he's on. He started on the options though, so I'm going to assume he's on primes, and he's very close to another car, whoever's in 9th, and that might be Granu. I can't say for sure, but it might be. Ooh, and that's a corner cut. Don't want to be doing that much more. As I get a warning for that, and that's just because of the tires giving more grip than I expected. You know, I've been running the whole race on primes with heavy fuel, so this was a little weird as I get a track extension as well there. This is not a pretty lap at all, And it's saying 13 seconds to ride, and I'm going to estimate that's more like 6 seconds, 7 seconds, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And we only got 2 laps left in this race, so it's not looking like points, unfortunately, at all. Certainly not for you, as you've got even chicane in between yourself and me. You got 2 cars in between you and the points, and I've got a big gap to cover. So yeah, it's not looking good for either Sauber, unfortunately, here in India. I'm putting in some pretty decent lap times. I'm down into the low 125s there, as you guys can see, was my current fastest lap at the moment. And I'm using all my curves for this DRS straight. Chicane's not really a threat from behind. His tires were clearly suffering. Oh, right, he pit on the same lap as you. So this is lap number 9 for Chicane on his primes. So yeah, he's definitely not in a position to catch up to me at all. And actually, it looks like I've gained an entire second on Raiden, just in the first sector, a whole second. So if in fact I am gaining a second per sector, that would put me pretty close up behind Raiden at the moment. And it does look like, though, he has dropped off of the car that's in 9th place. There's a little bit bigger of a gap in front of him. So he may have had a mistake, which contributed to that 1 second difference. Yeah, it looks like only about a half a second for Sector 2 there. And actually, Sector 2 is where you'd expect more time to be lost because with a tire difference.
Yeah, actually, well, let's say the difference on this sector. Yeah, well, that's about 3/10. Yeah,
that's a short sector though. Sector 3 is really tiny. I think it's just four corners and not much straight. So it's a shorter sector, but yeah, that's 3/10 there. Final lap of the race, though not looking good. But look at the clump of cars running down the DRS straight right now. I think that is
4 cars.
I want to say 5. I think that's 5. Yeah, because I think it's 2 cars at the front, and then 3 cars in the second group, and then that must mean that there's 5 cars in the group after that. So yeah, it's at least 5 cars. Yes, it is. It is in fact 5 cars. So yeah, 5 cars just up the road, running in very close succession. I can tell you right now, I was really wishing that this was a 31 lap race. And not a third. And again, the exact same corner, just struggling to get through there. So I played it a little bit more safe. See, I knew that I was starting to get bad with the cuts there, so I start tightening it up a little bit. I am able to recognize when, oh gosh, I extended that one again, but not quite as bad as the lap before. And you can see.
Look at the gap, actually.
Yeah, 10.1 now is what it says.
2 seconds this lap.
Oh gosh, and look at that. You can see the cars now, actually. They're so close up ahead. 1, 2, 3 cars in very close proximity. And unfortunately, though, there's just not enough time there's not enough time, not enough track. And
not enough fuel.
Yep, not enough fuel. So I crossed the line in 11th. Miko crosses the line in 13th. Unfortunately, both Saubers out of the points. Is that the second time that's happened this season?
I really can't remember.
I want to say it's the second time.
Yeah, it could
like
be.
That.
Yeah.
So really uncharacteristic there, unfortunately. So in the end, just outside the points was where we finished. But Dark Lord, who finished in 6th place there, he had that really crazy pit entrance. And that wasn't the only time that he entered the pit like that. He did it twice, actually. So actually, Dark Lord gets disqualified from this race, moving both of us up a position and myself into the points. So actually, it wasn't a race where we both didn't finish in the points. So we got 1 point as a team in India. Really didn't put in loads of practice. Either of us, really. So happy to come away with a point. Unfortunate that you lost that 13 seconds, certainly. I think you would have been probably ahead of me without that mistake. I think you would have been ahead of me, certainly. And possibly even in that battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. I think you probably would have been very close to that, if not a part of it or leading it. So a bit unfortunate, but still a great race. There's 3 more races left to go, as I mentioned before. Abu Dhabi is coming up, which unfortunately, I'm sorry, Abu Dhabi already happened as of this recording. And I did miss that, unfortunately, because America's daylight savings time is different from the rest of the world. and that threw off my whole racing schedule, and I had to choose between AOR F1 2013 or PRL iRacing on Sunday. For the weekend of Abu Dhabi, I chose iRacing. For this weekend coming up at Circuit of the Americas, I will be choosing AOR. So I will be racing at Circuit of the Americas and at Brazil as well. And also, you guys want to look out for the Abu Dhabi video, which will be coming out very shortly. That race has already happened. It's just about done being edited. And so that will be coming out very soon. And thanks for watching, everyone.
Yep. We'll see you at Abu Dhabi.